with the Parisi Speed School, I become a very big fan of warming up. Just like you guys would do a warm up with your swimming workouts, I do a warm up with all my clients. I do a warm up with all our Parisi Speed School athletes. So I've got about 5 or 6 things that we can do right now. And right off the bat, I think most of us need to do this prisoner squat. This is a big one. And like I said, my swimmer athletes that I had could not do a squat properly. And it shows up a lot of things really quick. Let me show it. So right here, I don't know if you guys saw that, where it says warm up. Start with the prisoner squat. In the prisoner squat, you'll get a stance with your feet staying flat and your feet staying straight ahead. And if you guys want to spread out, I'll demonstrate this and you can spread out and we can all try it. And then think of a prisoner. A prisoner will put their hands behind their head like this, okay? But what you don't want to do, when you guys do a squat, you always want to think of the neutral spine of the body. So the head, this is not a neutral spine. Neutral spine is meant to stay up nice and tall. Your chin tucked in, your head pulling back. When you bring the hands behind the head, the elbows should not stay here. The elbows are going to pull back. So now I'm opening up the chest. I'm already working the upper back. And then my feet are going to stay flat, pointing straight ahead. I'm going to sit down into the chair and then come back up. I'm going to sit down into the chair and then come back up. Now, my eyes are not looking here. My elbows are not falling forward. I'm going to stay in this position the whole time. Okay? Your hands stay interlocked. I want you guys to go ahead and do 10 reps. And I want you to feel what part of the body is tight, what part of the body may be weak. And you want to make sure that the heels stay down. It's a slow movement. Make sure you can look straight out in front of you. Look straight out in front of you. You want to go to a chair level. I've gotten to where I can go a little bit below chair level because I've developed that flexibility and strength. Some of you will not be able to do that. And then look, when I get down, my eyes should be right out in front. Okay? And I'm pulling the elbows back. Good. Some of you guys are really good at this. And some of you are like, it's a little tough to do that. Okay? Some of you guys are going into your right hip, some of you guys are going into your left hip. Some of you, your feet are turning out. All those things, this is a very basic movement, but it always tells me and the coaches what things are tight, what things are weak. But this is a really good exercise. We don't do much squatting in here, like how is this helping that? But there's a lot of stability, integrity of this area. There's a lot of flexibility occurring that you need to have in this area here as well. But I'll do that 10 reps. The next one is just big circles. I know you guys always do these, so big arm circles, 10-4, but I'm trying to come back as far as I can. But reach up over the head, and then coming forward 10 times, and then go backwards 10 times. So I know you guys know this one. Okay, 10 forward and 10 back. This is just our warm-up. And both arms should be equal, right? So it shouldn't feel like one arm is tight, one arm is real flexible. So after you do 10 forward, then go 10 backwards. 10 forward and 10 backwards. Hopefully you guys are going to use like this before you get the pool. I think it's a good area to work on. Now you may need to also spread out in this next one. This next one, actually you may need to hold on to a piece of equipment to help with your balance. So what I'll do is I'm going to swing the leg forward, I'm going to swing the leg back. So you want to get to where you don't need anything to hold on to. And then where does the leg go up to? How high does it go up? How far can you bring it back? Okay, and then do you have the balance to do that? Okay. There's not much balance that you need in the pool, but again, it's something that, you haven't been working on the pool. It's something that I think will be good to help. Bilateral balance and stability of the body. I'm also working on flexibility. Already working on waking up the core already. You can, yeah, you can if you want.
You were doing fine to went backwards.
Pull your heel. What I want her to do is actually when she comes back, her heel is going to go up towards your butt and come back. called a dynamic flexibility, kind of a dynamic warm-up, get things ready. You want to get both legs. And again, if like you're standing on your right foot and like, this is easy, step on my left foot, and all of a sudden, hey, things are shutting down, not working real well, and that's starting to communicate with you, like, I need to work on something's going on here. And it may be inhibiting, affecting your swimming. All right, let's go into opening toe touches. So this is going to start warming up the lower back and the upper back. This is something we did in elementary school, and we got kind of away from this, but my feet are going to be a little bit wider than shoulder width. My feet stay flat. Try to keep your legs straight, but you always want to come back up to this position. So I'm going to bring my left hand down to my right toe, and I'm going to come all the way back up to here. Actually try to, really pull the arms back, bring the back of your head back. And after I do one side, I'm going to alternate, go to the other side. And always come back, pull the hands back. We're discovering some tight areas, aren't we? Okay. Can you keep the legs straight? Can you pull the arms back? Can you come all the way back up? As I mentioned before, some of you guys are going to be really good at some of these things, some of you are going to be really poor at them. And I always say, hey, you're only strong as your weakest link. Right? We've all heard that saying. And I didn't bring enough mats for everybody, I apologize. But I want you guys to kind of try some of these. We can kind of paint, we can get these out. After I demonstrate, I want you guys to take turns demonstrating or trying this one out. This one is directly applicable for you guys. This is going to work on what we call T-spine mobility, your thoracic spine, the middle part of your spine. I don't know if you guys know this, but the spine is made up of 3 parts. So you have the neck, the cervical, the mid-back is thoracic, and the lower back is the lumbar. So this is going to work in that thoracic mid-spine area. I'm going to get into this position right here, hands and knees. My head's going to stay here, my body's going to stay right here. I'm going to place one hand behind my head. I'm going to, without moving the arm this way, without lifting up and down, I'm going to rotate up, look up at the sky, hold for 2 seconds, and then come back to here. Rotate up, hold for 2, and then come back here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay? We'll rotate in. You guys can take turns doing that. But you want to get about 8 reps. And then drop your own down. The warm-up is really, really important. Okay? All right. Let's move along. The first one is abdominal exercise. And before we do this one, I want you guys to do one thing for me. Stand up and put your finger right on your belly button. Okay? I want you to draw your belly button in without like sucking in and like holding your breath. Draw the belly button in and hold it really, really tight. So it comes in, it stays tight, and that's called the draw-in maneuver, and it helps stabilize the spine at the lower back and the pelvis region. All these exercises, you want to be able to draw that stomach in, the belly button in, and hold it, but able to still talk, still be able to breathe. So this first exercise, I'm going to be doing that draw maneuver before I do the exercise. Okay? Always maintain neutral position. Always maintain that draw-in position. And it's beginning, in the very beginning, like within the first 10 times you do this, it's going to be something that you're going to have to think about to do every time. So it's a think about, then I'm going to do it, and then maintain it, and then all of a sudden it'll be start becoming automatic. So I'm going to lay on my back. I'm going to try to roll my pelvis this way so my lower back is flattened out. So everybody can see, if I relax my back, for me, my back is now arched off the ground. And that's not what you want to do. You want to roll the pelvis so it's flat. I'm going to hold my feet here. I'm going to let my feet drop touch the ground, and then come back up. This is a very beginner level. What I'm not allowing to happen is my back to arch off the ground. So the main purpose of this is stabilization of this pelvis and lower back region. As I get more advanced, I can go out further. I can go way out here. I can keep the legs straight and come down. But I would start here. Does that make sense? So the purpose of this is the strength integrity of this area here. I'm gonna flatten the back, I'm gonna draw the stomach in tight, bring the feet up off the ground, and then lower the heels slowly to the ground. Your heels are gonna touch the ground, but this should not, your lower back should not come off the ground. Okay, let's try that. Does that make sense? All right, number 2 is a cobra. You know, being a swimmer, you've got to be able to stay, you know, flat on top of the water. You got to have, I think, strong through here, but also have to have really strong back extensor muscles. So the cobra is really good for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna face down, come face down here, start like this. My palms are gonna be here. My first exercise I wanna do, I'm gonna draw in, right? Draw in. I'm gonna roll the shoulder blades back. I'm gonna come up just to here, and then come back down slowly. So I'm gonna roll the shoulder blades back here, and I'm gonna extend up to here, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and then come back down slow, okay? This is not to pinch your lower back to hurt your back. Your palms are facing, turn your thumbs this way, like that. Yes, sir, good. Your feet can stay on the ground. So you wanna roll the shoulder blades back first, pull the back of your head back second, and then lift the chest.
Do your feet stay on the ground?
But keep your hips on the ground. Keep this area nice and stabilized.
Your feet on the ground? Or
your feet will stay on the ground, yes. Yes, yes. So it's kind of like it's like 2 or 3 different steps. You're gonna roll the shoulder blades back first. Keep the head neutral. Keep your pelvis neutral. And then lift the chest coming up. Once you get up, you hold for 2 or 3 seconds. And again, you've got to have, like she just explained, really good flexibility through the chest. All these muscles are working, and then her head all the way down into here is working too. Squeeze your glutes when you come up too. Squeeze your glutes. Alright, this one's called the bridge. So the bridge is going to be working the glutes. With the bridge, my feet underneath my knees, my toes are up, my hands are here. Draw in, draw on the belly button. I'm gonna lift up slowly. I get to here, I engage my glutes. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, return slowly back down, lightly tap, and then return. Some of you will be very good at this to where this is not working very much. Some of you might need to go to a single leg bridge and then coming back down, okay? But when you get to the top in a single leg bridge, don't let one hip teeter to the side. You've got to stay as level as you are right now and then return back down, okay? So the idea of this, we're working the glutes down, of course, but we're still really attacking the pelvis, lumbo-pelvic hip area, that core area. All right, this one is going to be face down again. This is called a opposite arm and leg raise. So I'm going to lay face down. Okay, I'm going to have my thumbs up. Okay, in this position, I'm going to lift my left arm and my right leg at the same time. Come down, come up, hold it, and then come down. Come up and hold, and back down. Okay, pretty easy, but what I want you to do though, when you come up, keep your torso still, keep your head still. The thumb is up. When you come up, can you feel the glute engaged? Can you lift the right arm and the left arm and the right leg equally at the same time and lower them at the same time? Okay? Don't lift your head, keep your head still. Keep both arms out straight. Both arms out straight. The other hand is touching the ground, the other foot's touching the ground. Same, and do the same repeater side 10 times. Come up and hold it for 2. And then back down. But don't move your head. Don't move your torso. Just do the same left arm, right leg 10 times, and then do the other side. Left arm, right leg 10 times, and then the other side 10 times. And you're getting your shoes wet. Did you know that? And like getting into the tubing exercises. So for the tubing, we're going to start with external rotation, internal rotation. So these are some pictures of me that I put on here just because in my little exercise program I use, it didn't have external rotation. But let me demonstrate real quick. James brought up the fact that you could easily put these on the fence here. You want to make sure when you use a tube to run your hand along, your fingers grab it and run all the way down. If you feel anything that feels like a catch or a hole or a tear, then there probably is. So you want to examine it and really pull on it, make sure it's not going to tear, because anything that has a tear can rip and tear, and it'll come and it'll hit you, and it can really cause an itch in the eye, and you know what that can cause. So what we're going to do is, let me demonstrate real quick, and then we can spread them out. So I have different types of tubes. I got one with 2 handles, and I've got handles only with handles on one side. If you have a 2-handled tube, simply just feed it through, and then feed it through the handle, and now it's not going to go anywhere. Okay? But as you tie it on, make sure there's nothing on the fence bar that's going to tear the tube as well. Okay? So this is some safety things right there real quick. Now, with the tubing exercise, I like to use a towel. So that was the main reason why I brought the towels out here. Fold it in half so it's a square, fold it into a rectangle, and then put it underneath your arm. This is going to make sure that when you do an external rotation that your elbow stays in tight, or if you do an internal rotation, your arm stays in tight. Okay? What most people do, they come over here and they just start doing reps. But now you're losing the fact of all the things that we've done so far. The head, the chin stays tucked in. The abs stay in tight. The shoulder blades stay back. I'm going to come out. I'm going to stop about right here. I'm going to come back in slow. So you've got to build some stability first before you start getting into the real quick reps. Okay? So in the progressive of exercise and strength and training, stability, then strength, and then speed and power are the very last things that you should work on. Okay? So I just want to make sure we get that point across. So external rotation, I'm going to start with my hand here. I'm going to come out. I'm going to stop for 2 to 8 seconds. I'm going to come back in slow. Come out, stop here. Can you stop? And then come back in. Now, also external rotation. This is what I do with some of my clients. And this was really good. I'm just going to hold it in front of my shoulder the whole time. Keep my wrist straight. I'm going to take a step out and take a step in. I'm not going to move my arm at all. This is very effective, and this is what I feel really helped some of my swimmers that I work with. But this has got to stay really tight. All the things that we worked on so far, don't lose fact that this is still engaged right here. Okay, so we'll spread some tubes out. Now those are probably not going to. Scapula has a position, has a bony position like that, and then the head of the arm basically sits like that. If there were no muscles and no tendons, it would slip right off. Your arm would just sink, which is happens when people dislocate their shoulder. It rips all the tendons and ligaments, and it drops. So what we're doing now is we're strengthening the integrity of that shoulder joint by doing these exercises. And you know, it's very, I mean, this over and over, that's why those young ladies had to get out of the pool, because they were ripping their shoulders to pieces. And
Old ladies do that too.
And literally in 6 weeks they were able to get back in the pool. They built the integrity of the shoulder back up, and they were actually stronger and faster doing the strength training program. This was it. This was some of the basic stuff we did. Just basic stuff. But you got to do it right. You got to be consistent.
I'm gonna look at Paula said, I'm missing a color.
So we just worked on external, internal rotation tubing. And as I was mentioning, the external rotation, most of you guys felt the majority of the fatigue occurring, right? And you're going away from the body. This next one, I kind of made this one up, but it really, really works. It's called the quadruped position with a single arm rear delt. Rear delt. And deltoid, delt is referring to deltoid, which is the shoulder. The shoulder is made up of the front, the side, and the back musculature. So this exercise is going to work on the back side musculature of the shoulder. So I'm going to get into this position. We call this the quadruped. I call it, an easier way is to call it a two-point stance once I get into the position. So I want you guys to start like this, and my shoulder blades are rounded, not relaxed. My shoulder blades are rounded, not relaxed. My head is not dropped, it's engaged in a neutral position. From here, I'm going to extend one leg out, I'm going to bring it up. So right now, this, my lower back, my pelvis have to work and hold it right here. This is where I want you guys just to see if you can get in this position, okay? And then you're going to raise the opposite arm. See if you can just hold that position. And then we'll move into the exercise I have here. So I have some prerequisites first. So you got to be in this position, extend the leg, hold it up. Can you hold that? Then can you hold this? See if you can hold it for 10 seconds, okay? Some of you will be really good at this. Some of you are going to find out that, hey, when I lift the right leg, the left arm is pretty good. When I lift the left leg and the right arm, not so good. This arm up, she's going to come up and touch my hand to the side. She's going to start from here, and she's going to come up like that. And then she's going to come back down. So now she's just going to keep this leg up the whole time. Now she's going to do about 8 reps. She's going to come up, stop, and then back down. Come up and stop, and back down. So this is the exercise I have printed out, but I had a couple of prerequisites first.
Opposite.
But this is the one, opposite arm and leg. So the leg stays out, the arm is going to move. Now, imagine if you had a weight in that hand, like a dumbbell. I would start with something like a 1, a 2, and I have some athletes that have worked up to 10-pound weights, but they're still displaying perfect position. Okay, this is the exercise I wanted you to do, but we got to go through some prerequisites first. So the arm stays, move the arm nice and still, or move, nice and slow. Keep your body nice and stabilized. Keep your head in neutral position. Keep that draw maneuver occurring. Keep the legs straight. Keep the glute tight. There's a lot of little things to think about when you're doing this exercise. But if you're drawing in and you're really working the lumbo-pelvic, this is a great exercise for that because the leg is out and it's causing you to really work on the core unit on this side with that leg being out. This lever is resistance. Okay? But imagine if you had a dumbbell in that hand, that would create a lot more resistance. And, it could be more effective. It actually could destroy your form and technique if you have too heavy of a dumbbell. So it's best to start with nothing in the hands. Make sure you do that correctly. Okay, good. All right, now we're going to get into some things where some of you may want to attempt this, some of you may not. But this is the one. These are the exercises that I really feel propelled those young athletes to get them back in the pool. And these are called crawling patterns. And I've got 2 crawling patterns for you guys to think about if you want to try them or not. Now, pool space-wise, I'm probably going to start here and travel down that way and then come back. Now, something you may want to do on the grass, maybe you want to do on the turf. You can do on your living room. You don't need a lot of space. But let me just borrow you guys' area right here. If you don't mind, we can pull this up. Let me get up. All right, so yeah, we're just this one. We call this the spider crawl in the Parisi. But I'm going to get into a push-up position. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross. I'm going to head towards that way. I'm going to cross my right arm over the left, and I'm gonna step out with my left foot. So I'm gonna be in a push-up position. I'm gonna step out and then come to here. Now, I'm not gonna let my lower back dip. I'm not gonna let my shoulder blades dip. I'm not gonna let my, so all these are bad detrimental things. If I stay right here, I'm working the triceps, I'm working the integrity of the shoulder, I'm really working the core, I'm working the hip flexors, the lower back. There's a lot of things going on that people don't realize that happen from the push-up position if you do it right. So I'm gonna come out and then back to here. I wanna stop every time I do it. Cross over and then come back. I don't have to go that far, I can maybe do 2 or 3 and I can start heading back. So this is the position. Some of you guys just want to hold that position. That's advanced, what I was doing. Traveling is advanced. Some of you guys just want to start right here. Hold this position. Hold that position. Just hold it. Can you hold it for 10 seconds? Can you hold it correctly for 10 seconds? You don't have to do the traveling part. The traveling part really makes that really see if you can get into a push-up position and just hold it. Wrist, your back, and your neck. This may be too advanced right now, okay? It may be something you don't want to do right now. You can build up to it, okay? But this next crawling pattern is going to be a little bit more coordination, and it requires a little bit more strength, okay? So let me demonstrate over here. We call this the tiger crawl. So instead of moving laterally, I'm going to move straight ahead forward. I'm going to have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So and then I'm going to have one hand out, one hand right here. Okay? So now I'm going to move my left hand to my right leg.
Okay, let's go.
Some of you guys would call this a bear crawl.
Oh my God, Courtney!
That's it. So I'm just really right.
Do it with the knee on your back, it's called a
Death crawl, that's not so bad, okay? So you want to move the opposite arm and leg. So again, let me show you. So if I've got my left foot forward, my right foot back, I'm going to put my elbow of my left arm elbow, since my left leg is up, is going to actually touch my knee or my calf. Okay? So now, when I move my left hand up, my right knee is going to come up to my right elbow.
I want to watch y'all fall.
Again, these are things that, I'm saying, I'm getting to some more advanced things. So you're going to move this arm and this leg. Good. Yep. And then when you come up, don't let this knee go way past the hand. The knee is just going to come in here.
Because he likes, if I get up
See, that's better.
on
Yeah.
the ground, like right in here.
Nice and tall the whole time. It gets more advanced as you get lower to the ground. So I'm just showing you a real basic way to do this. So the basic way to do this is I can keep my chest up, my hips down. If my hips stay down, this is easy. Right here, this is not a problem. If I lower my body, now this becomes a challenge. So as I lower my chest and my hips, it gets really tough. But if I keep my chest high and my hips down, it's not as hard. Okay, the row exercise. And again, when I strap this up, this one is where you're only going to be able to use the handles. So all I'll do is strap this over here. Walk back to where I can get some resistance. So some of you guys have found out when we did the other exercises, if I stay in close, the band is not being stretched. But if I walk back, now it gets tougher. So set up from here, my head, the back of my head pulling back, abs in tight. I'm going to draw straight back. I'm going to stop here and let it come back slow. So just draw straight back. and then let it back in slow. I'm going to keep the elbows in kind of tight. Come back as far back as I can without torquing the wrist. So the arms are going to stay straight. The hands come almost to the rib cage and then come back slow. Okay? Now, we don't have very many really thick bands. I only brought the orange and the yellow out. But let me show you another way. Let me show you another way to do this. Where you can also work on grip. He's going to hold this towel, and he's going to hold that towel. Now, we're going to seat down, squat, abs in tight. Okay. You're going to pull. I'm going to resist. Now, I'm going to pull, he's going to resist. He's trying, he could have held me pretty tight.
Like that.
Okay, so now, I don't need the equipment. I got towels to use. So what? I wouldn't touch with that. But you gotta go. The one thing you don't want to do, some of these guys already figured this out, don't let go. Let go, we got some accidents happening. But also, he's going to have to sense how strong he is. He's going to have to sense how strong he is. So, you're going to have to let him pull you,
Okay.
but stay down, abs in tight, okay? And you want to have your chest a little bit more out. Now we're working the legs, the core, and that upper back. Go slow, make it slow. Slow pulls. So now we got different ways to do the row, right?
So what are we supposed to do? I'm here.
Upper back. Upper back. All these. Good. But I do have one place that we can show you where we can do it. But otherwise, we have a variety of classes that you could go and take a TRX class, and they will show you a lot of different ones. I wanted to show you what is basically called the body row. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to that door and have a door attachment that we can attach to the door and then attach this to the door hanger. And so I'm going to do that right now, but this is a really good exercise. It's just a takeoff of the yellow one I just showed, but now when I lean back, my entire body's got to be activated and stabilized, and so I'm going to work a lot of different muscles in a different position. So I'm going to walk over here and show that right now. Now from here, what I can do, this is more of a beginner position. I'm just going to pull up and then come back. This is a beginner because of where my feet are at. I'm not really pulling a lot of my body weight, but if I walk my feet down, and then it's real slippery here. Okay? So here we go. So, and this is not ideal conditions, but the lower I bring my feet, the more I can't do it. It's too slippery.
Yeah,
I'm gonna slide right in. But I could do it. I could do it where I'm on.
You can use this mat. This is a sticky mat.
I could do it where I'm here, on the wall. Which is really
I'll do that.
Oh wait, there's this.
too slippery.
Yeah.
There's just not any ideal positions to put it out here. But if you go to a class, these are really, really good. And like I said, to put your body in that decline position, a lot of the muscles have to work to keep you in that position. But just didn't have the most ideal, situation to show you this. But get to a class if you can, and it's really going to help benefit, I think, your swimming.
Yeah, I've done the class before a few times. It does make you stronger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just where you have the feet. If you keep walking your feet down, eventually put your feet on the wall and do a pull-up, it's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Okay?
Thank you.
Hey, that's it for today. And like I said, I think James has got a lot more stuff, I'm sure, in mind that he can help you with. But I think this is a great start. But I really wanted to show you guys, the integrity of that lower back, that lumbo-pelvic hip area is really, really crucial. And practice those things at home and get strong. Get stronger at home, and then you guys come here and you really advance quickly. So, thanks for your time.
Thank you.